Hey, what's up everyone? Today we have an update from the former CEO regarding a patch for some bugs. Additionally, Arrowhead is set to reveal some new information about their plans during and after the 60-day plan, and that there will be some more communication from the developers. There's much more to discuss, so please support the channel by tapping the like button, subscribe, and turning on notifications. We're going to start with the news on the CCO's response to two different bugs with the automatons. The first issue is with the laser turrets. Currently, bots can use them indefinitely without the turrets overheating. Mr. Pilstead has informed a Reddit user that they are investigating this matter. The related post, which you can't see here, is titled, Arrowhead, quote, we want our game to be realistic and players shouldn't have lots of ammo, end quote, the game. The CCO saw this and responded with, not democratic enough, but this is properly unfair, never realized the overheat doesn't happen for the bots, let me investigate what is going on. For some of you, this might not seem like a major issue, but it can make certain situations quite challenging when you're trying to run away. I've had my fair share of laser-induced deaths in-game, and yeah, to a point where it was quite frustrating. So with that said, it's reassuring to see that they have plans to address this issue, and I'm eager to see the outcome. My only concern, which I believe I've mentioned in a previous video, is about how the patches will turn out. If they're anything like the last few, I don't see much point in returning, and I don't want to sound overly negative, but it's fair to say the recent patches haven't really excelled in fixing bugs, specifically with the crashes, or that the balancing has been completely, and I mean completely underwhelming. And you know, I'd love to see them release a well-tested patch that also includes the flamethrower being reversed, and maybe the charger's hitbox being resolved. I think that would be the step in the right direction with this next hotfix, or if it's a small patch, whichever, I'm excited to see what happens. The next bug on the list that's going to be looked into involves bots shooting through walls, specifically with the Hulk. Before we get to the answer, I should clarify that I'm not entirely certain if their plan is to fix the general issue of bots shooting through walls, or if it's the Hulk in particular that they're focusing on. That said, Mr. Pilstead responded to a player on Reddit who commented about the Hulk's flamethrower range, noting how its reach is unbelievably long. Following that, another player added to the discussion, pointing out that the Hulks can always shoot through walls. As you can see in this post, and the previous CEO wrote, hey, we will look at this within the 60 days. Thank you for the feedback. This right here, again, I'm unsure if he's addressing all the bots or if the focus is solely on fixing the Hulk. If it is, I think it's both a good and a bad idea. The reason being, if that's their plan, they should tackle the problem comprehensively with all the bots, rather than just addressing one specific issue with the Hulk. For example, I've seen the Factory Strider easily shoot through rocks, as well as other enemy types, like even the smaller ones. So it would be nice to see that patched, and if they have to and they can only patch the Hulk, I'll accept it, but eventually I would like to see all the bots resolved. Moving on, we have updates regarding Arrowhead's 60-day plan. By now you all should be aware of this plan, announced about a week ago. While the community manager Twinbear responded to a question about game updates, Twinbear revealed that there will be various pieces of content. His answer, which you can see here, states, absolutely late here at the moment, but a short one for now. Various pieces of content with more information about what we're doing during and after the 60-day plan are going out starting the following weeks. In other words, more info is coming relatively soon, and definitely within the 60-day time span. Thanks for the input and question. So does this hint at a roadmap coming soon? We're aware that Arrowhead is planning to fix some bugs and enhance the game, within the next 60 days? Or maybe less, but what's next? Well, from what Twinbeard posted, we should hear some more news shortly. I might be wrong about the roadmap, but that's what it looks like to me. If not, perhaps there will be another 60-day plan after this one. The less ideal scenario would be Arrowhead needing more time, which I'm sure we all hope is not the case. And lastly, about the 60-day plan, there is some more information about this. Some more information, I guess, coming out following the 2 weeks or something like that. Right here, Twinbear wrote, thanks for your balance posts and input. The announcements of the 60-day plan was indeed somewhat vague, likely to not overpromise and not having finalized the plan, or having everyone back from summer vacation. That being said, we will roll out more information in several portions, starting the following 2 weeks, so more is coming. Alrighty, so we're getting close to something, right? We'll see what this exactly will be, and hopefully it's a lot of, positive things instead of like some negative stuff like, we only did a little bit of stuff here and there, and this is all we have to show for it, which would suck. And hopefully it's not that case, right? Because if it was, I think a lot of us are just going to walk away from the whole entire situation because I'm not okay with it. But I have a feeling that things might be different this time around. But I will say, since I said that, you know, who knows? Things could go wrong. Things could go in the wrong direction and everything could go to hell. But hopefully that's not the case. As I mentioned, I just don't want to see that. And I would prefer this patch to come out super smooth and everything is going well and we've got all this great content. But I'm sure the great content and everything will come after once they have figured performance, the crashes, and everything else that they need to do. Next up, Twinbeer replied to another player about the surplus resources and if Arrowhead has any thoughts about using other resources like metals. The community manager wrote back and said, yes, various options for surplus resources are being looked into. So with this response, it would be great if the developers allowed us to exchange a certain number of samples for metals, XP boosters, or even weapon upgrades, much like the original Helldivers game. Metals and requisition slips could be used to buy new colors for our armors, mech suits, the Pelican, you know, plus saving up metals to unlock special weapons or unique armors themed around certain ministries like the Ministry of Science would be awesome. I have plenty more ideas, but I'm curious, what would you like the developers to do with the surplus resources? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, that's not the only information that Twinbeer revealed because Arrowhead is also looking into creating some sort of trading system in-game. So before we check out his post, I'm not exactly sure if he means that we'll see players trading resources or if there will be an in-game mechanic where we trade our resources across for, you know, other resources or items or whatnot. I'll let you all be the judge of this and you can let me know what you think he means. Right here, he replied to this player that asked if they have any thoughts about letting us trade resources to swap loadouts mid-game. The community manager wrote back and said, we're considering both of these, albeit mostly separately. I think in other words, using samples and other resources to either trade, upgrade, unlock, etc. stuff, and loadouts, none are confirmed as far as I know. But a system for surplus resources, I know I've come far in discussion. Sure, we can see that nothing has been confirmed just yet, however, it's great to see that these options are being considered. The aspect I'm not too fond of is trading. If they implement a system where players can trade resources with other players, it could end badly. For instance, some players might feel compelled to engage in RMT, aka real money trading for resources. I don't have anything against those who participate, but I also don't support it. It was problematic in games like Fallout 76, and you know, some players will go as far as creating bots to do work for them, right? And I think that would be a terrible, terrible thing to see in game, considering we're already dealing with bots on the planet as it is. Alright, last but not least, the CM informed us that the developers plan to communicate frequently on the Helldivers 2 Discord about various topics. Now, this specifically, I've heard them talk about this before at some point, and it turns out they are actually doing it. The proof can be seen here where he says, I can say though that there will be more people from the studio chiming in on various topics and various pieces of information starting the following weeks. More info is coming. I will say I really appreciate this approach. It means we'll get more clarity on certain questions or issues with answers coming directly from the devs. Anyways, what are my overall thoughts on this? I believe we'll need to see how things go with the upcoming patches, and I completely understand that we're still hearing words without seeing actions, but at the same time, they need to communicate with us, and I totally respect that. It's better than being left in radio silence. At least from my perspective, I've seen developers do that, and I'm sure you guys have too. Looking ahead, we have news about the Orbital Napalm Barrage. I'm almost certain that most of you have already seen this stratagem in action, either through a leak or during the recent developer stream on Steam, where one of the devs used it against the bots. That said, Arrowhead has revealed a new major order that will give us a chance to acquire the newest Napalm Stratagem, provided we can complete the latest major order. If you check out the briefing right here, it specifically says, the Ministry of Defense has finalized preparations to augment super destroyers with the capabilities to fire orbital napalm barrages. However, critical shortages of polystyrene foam and scrap metal has caused production to stall. Every minute these shortages exist, millions of super credits and citizens' work hours go to waste, an economic drain upon every citizen's prosperity. They must be rectified immediately. Now, the actual major order isn't too difficult. We need to eliminate 500 million bots and must liberate Vernon Wells. And I feel confident that we'll be able to handle the newest major order without any issues, unless it turns out to be like the anti-tank mine situation, which was delayed for months. I hope that's not the case because this stratagem is actually useful. Now, if you're wondering how I know it's going to be useful against bugs, aside from the fact that it's a fire-type stratagem, it's because I've seen footage of it, and to me it appears that this will not only be effective, but also fun to use. What I like to do now is recommend a few different ways to take out various types of chargers after patch. You guys know the whole flamethrower issue, right? Well, there are a few other methods I personally favor. For instance, you can use the eats, but you'll want to dive forward so that it only takes one rocket to destroy a piece of armor. If you don't, you'll notice the charger's armor remains intact. The same applies when using the recoilless. Once the armor is off, you can shoot the exposed part, and it doesn't take too long to defeat one. The other option would be to use the commando and shoot 2 rockets directly at the charger's face. That's all it takes. Another option would be to use either a rail cannon stratagem or the orbital strike, preferably with a stun grenade. I recommend this because the orbital strike can eliminate bile titans, chargers, and pretty much anything within the Terminids. And last but not least, if you encountered any login issues or disconnections recently, specifically yesterday, this was due to PlayFab, a cloud service that Arrowhead uses for Helldivers 2. This was confirmed on the Helldivers 2 Discord by B Vitamin that said, there was a spike in crashes approximately 5 hours ago when PlayFab was experiencing issues, but this resolved within the hour. Not aware of any specific server issues right now. This is likely the same crashing and connectivity issues that we've been suffering from for a while now. If you've already tried restarting your internet for 5 to 7 minutes, there isn't much else I can do at the moment, hoping that the devs are able to sort them out soon. Now, I mentioned a few seconds ago that it's due to PlayFab, but there's also a possibility that it could be related to the last few patches. And to be fair, I haven't noticed a single problem with disconnections or login issues myself. Perhaps some players are experiencing worse connections, maybe depending on their location, or maybe it's just unpredictable at times for various reasons. So I don't know, but I'm inclined to believe it's mainly a PlayFab issue, although again, some players might not be able to connect for various reasons. Also, it's kind of strange to realize that, PlayStation owns the IP of Helldivers, yet they're using PlayFab for the online connections. Maybe it's weird to me and normal for everyone else, but I thought that was interesting. Anyways, this is your Helldivers 2 news. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. The first comment is by Fireworks. Quote, leave the details to the experts, end quote. Which ones would that be? The ones that have made all the amazing choices they've been making the last few months? Then we have the second comment by SniperPlay6616. Personally, I don't give a F if the devs' morale is low. They've dug this hole themselves due to their own gross negligence and mismanagement. They can't even take a step without falling on their faces. It's absurd. Yeah, with those last 2 comments, I absolutely agree. It's been crazy, and hopefully things do get better, but I wouldn't be, shocked if things got worse, to be honest. Anyways, last but not least, we have Dimmy Dival. If you can nerf everything in 30 minutes with one patch, it should not take you more than 6 months to revert these changes. How come there's a spreadsheet number changing? Doesn't work when it's about buffing things, but they work perfectly fine and extremely fast when it comes to nerfs. With that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure you do subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below because you might just be featured in the next video. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.